What is up guys, it's Solheim here, back with another Wrath of the Lich King Classic video. So today we are doing a news recap of what's going on in the Classic WoW community. We'll be talking a little bit about TBC Classic, as well as Wrath of the Lich King Classic, as there's been some behind the scenes updates that are actually quite important to the progress of Wrath Classic, indicating that it could be a lot closer than many of you might think. We do have a lot to go through today, so let's get right into it. First up, we have recently received the final phase of TBC Classic, with the Fury of the Sunwell, which came out this week, giving us a brand new zone, or a mini zone, the Isle of Quel'Danis, opening up for daily quests and interesting progressions within the isle itself. The more dailies you do, the more reputation you get, and the more reputation you get, the more dailies you unlock, and so on. It is also a decent way to make raw gold, as those dailies are actually pretty decent and fairly easy to do. The Fury of the Sunwell also brings with it a brand new dungeon, the Magister's Terrace, which is a little bit of a harder dungeon than the ones we currently have, bordering towards a mega dungeon like we do have in retail, and we also have a brand new raid, and possibly the most difficult raid that we have ever seen in TBC Classic, the Sunwell Plateau. So this marks the final content phase for TBC Classic, as we set sails towards Northrend when Wrath of the Lich King Classic does come out. That brings me over to my next topic, Wrath Classic Beta. When does this start? Well, I have technically three theories. So first up, there was recently an interview with Holly Longdale from Shack News or GamerHub TV, where they talked about a lot of things, including the Wrath Classic Beta, where Holly Longdale said that the Wrath Classic Beta would be starting within the next 2 to 3 months. This interview was posted on May 6th, indicating a July or August beta for Wrath of the Lich King Classic, which is actually quite a while away still, but could also be realistic. I mean, Holly probably knows a lot more than I do about when the beta is actually coming out, but still, let's do a bit of theory crafting. If Wrath of the Lich King beta build... a Wrath of the Lich King beta build was updated to the Blizzard Content Delivery Network, and this can actually be publicly viewed on the WoW Tools website right now. This beta build directly updates the Classic WoW beta from 2.5.1, which was the TBC Classic beta, to 3.4.0, which is currently the Wrath Classic beta build. There's 2 different beta builds within this patch number, both of which was compiled and detected today, and they include the Wrath Classic logo, as well as a Wrath of the Lich King Classic login screen. And I'm thinking, there's actually no way they update their beta client now, and let this sit for another 2 months before they start the beta. I mean, why would they? If anything, they could just give us a longer beta period and use it as a hype period to build up hype for the expansion. There's no real reason to just sit on these assets and sit on the beta build for that long before starting it. If we do go back to, for example, the TBC Classic beta, that was first data mined like this on WoW Tools on March 22nd, and the beta actually started the very next day. So what could happen here if we go by the analytics and metrics of the TBC Classic beta, and we also take a massive hit of hopium? There is a slight chance that the Wrath Classic beta actually starts tomorrow, but I wouldn't really have my hopes up for that. I'm just saying, if we look at the numbers here, and if the Wrath beta starts the same way as the TBC beta, that could actually happen. I'm probably being way too hopeful here, but like I said, I took a massive swig of hopium before writing this. So far, here's the theories. Theory 1, Wrath Classic Beta starts in July or August, based on the timeline given by Holly in the interview. Theory 2, Wrath Classic Beta starts tomorrow, based on the analytics or analysis of the TBC Classic Beta. Theory 3, Wrath Classic Beta starts somewhere in between, like any time from next week and 2 months from now, or basically sometime in May or June. Personally, I would be absolutely shocked if the beta suddenly went live tomorrow, and I also don't think they would hold on to it until July or August, based on the fact that they have already pushed a beta build, including Wrath Classic assets. Speaking of assets though, if you want to own your own asset for Wrath of the Lich King Classic, check out my Wrath of the Lich King Classic gold guide through the link in the video description. This is a guide containing everything I know about gold making in Wrath of the Lich King, including gold farms, investments, making gold with professions, and a lot more. The guide will constantly be updated throughout Wrath Classic, and by purchasing the guide you will also receive all of the future updates for free, and as the guide contains investments, which are time sensitive, the earlier you pick it up, the more value you will get from it. Right now you can also use the code Solheim to get it for 50% off. Speaking of Wrath of the Lich King beta though, how long do you guys think that will last? I don't really think we have to test the same amount of things for Wrath Classic as we had to do for the Burning Crusade. There's no attunements for dungeons, there's no attunements for raids, heroic dungeons are simplified, and there's no dungeon finder, which means we don't have to test that mechanic either, and basically I just don't think there's too many things that actually needs to be tested. I mean, there's always fine-tuning and something to be picky about. The beta is there for a reason, but if there's not too much to test out, how long would the beta actually last? Personally, my guess would be around a 2-month beta period, possibly going all the way up to 3 months, kinda dependent on when we actually get the beta. If we get the beta within the next month, and we have a 3-month beta length, that means Phase 5 of TBC Classic would last for 4 months. We also have to look at things like quarterly earnings reports when it comes to Blizzard and when they release their products, with the level 70 boost in Wrath Classic as well as possibly a deluxe edition, or a Northrend Pass kind of thing. Wrath of the Lich King Classic will definitely provide them a significant boost in revenue, and they will schedule that boost of revenue around a time that suits them for their earnings report, and I'm guessing they will fit that into the Q3 report and ride that wave into Q4 as well. We could also be looking at an early October release for Wrath Classic itself, pushing us into Q4, and using the Wrath Classic pre-patch for a slight boost in Q3, just as an example. As we are talking about Wrath Classic and the beta itself, now is also a good time to remind you guys that there are no TBC Classic era servers this time around, so there are no transfers involved. I feel like this is important to mention, as I have received a couple of comments about how to transfer your character from TBC to Wrath Classic, or how much gold you can take with you and so on, and just to clarify, Wrath of the Lich King Classic will function as an expansion to TBC Classic. You will carry everything with you, your character's name, your gold, your items, every single thing you have, as there's no transfers involved. It will simply come as an expansion, and you log in at launch and play as normal. But yeah, that is pretty much it guys, a quick news recap and some Wrath Classic beta discussions. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to the channel for more Wrath of the Lich King Classic videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.